Hi everybody, welcome to Stamping with Melva. I'm Melva Peters and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in British Columbia, Canada. And you can find me online at stampingwithmelva.com. It's Thursday night, and every other Thursday night I jump on with a mystery challenge. So tonight I decided to go a little easy on myself and do a color challenge, and maybe go a little easy on you. Sometimes it's nice, just color challenges are fun to do and sometimes stretch you. So Blushing Bride isn't a color that I use all the time, but tonight I decided to make it the color challenge be Blushing Bride, Very Vanilla, and Basic Black. And you'll see that I had kind of an idea when I created this because I am using the beautiful paper from the new Fitting Florets suite. So the designer series paper has Blushing Bride in it. So I decided to stretch myself and use that. And okay, hey Catherine, I have a tickle. Excuse me. So that's what I decided to use tonight. Hopefully you'll play along, and if you're part of my Facebook group, you'll make a card using these colors and share it on the group. So I'm going to get started. I'm going to switch over and show you. So this was I posted this earlier. So Blushing Bride, Very Vanilla, Basic Black. I think there's lots of things you could do with these colors. Hello, Jeanne, welcome. All right, so I have a piece of Blushing Bride. This is 5.5 by 8.5, and I'm scoring it at 4 1/4. Let's make sure I'm scoring, because the other day I actually cut it when I meant to score it. That never happens to you, I know, but it did to me. Even I moved it out of the way. Oh gosh, is it snowy and cold? It's very rainy here, Betty. I know it's snowy in Kamloops, where my friend Diane is. We're flying out to Vienna tomorrow, and we're just hoping we're going to get out. Good thing we're not going through Calgary. But it's really rainy here. And then Diane just said there's about 4 inches of snow in Kamloops. So keep your fingers crossed for us as we start to travel. All right, so I dug out. Now, I haven't used this in a while. This is the Pearlescent specialty paper. So I decided to use this. It's kind of Very Vanilla color, because this is a piece of Very Vanilla. So it's pretty close. Oh, -4. Gosh, it's cold for sure. And then I've got this pretty piece of Blushing Bride designer series paper that is from the Fitting Florets. It's hard to use it because this is my favorite. This one that's Evening Evergreen, soft succulent, kind of a Christmas pattern. But I'm using this one that's in Blushing Bride. Now I've already gone ahead, and these are the dies that are part of the Fitting Florets bundle. So nice ovals. And this oval actually cuts, if you can see, where's my piece of pearlescent? So it cuts this oval shape all in. Oh, it's even harder to see. Maybe it's easier like that. With hearts. So just the oval shape in hearts. I think it's really pretty. So that's what I went and did on my piece of designer series paper. I'll need these dies in a minute. All right, so this piece of pearlescent is going to go. I don't know that there's a right and a wrong side to it, because it's kind of pearlescent on both sides. This was in I can't remember which catalog this was in, and it got carried over, and I think we forget about these. I know I did, and I'm not sure how I came across it, but I thought this would go perfectly, because I wanted something underneath here to kind of show off the hearts. So I'm going to pop this up using dimensionals. I'm going to put one in each corner. I'm going to put a couple here in the middle, so maybe 3 in the middle so that middle doesn't sag, and maybe 1 on each side. It's quite a large piece. Hey, Nancy, of designer series paper. All right. So then we will adhere this on there, hopefully straight. There we go. So I've got 2 of my two of my colors, Blushing Bride and Very Vanilla with the Pearlescent. So now let's add some others. So what I want to do is I am going to do I'm going to make a birthday card. I'm going to use this Wishes for a Beautiful Birthday. I'm also going to stamp this image. And what I originally thought was I would stamp this in tuxedo black, but I'm a little worried that the on the pearlescent, the ink may not dry immediately just because of the shininess to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to emboss using black embossing powder. So I've got my embossing buddy from the Embossing Editions kit. I'm just going to go over that. And so I've got Versamark. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp this on this side of it. And at the same time, I'm going to stamp this because I'm going to use this one for the front as well. Okay, so we got those stamped. And now I've got my black embossing powder. Oh, it's time to get some more. Okay, so see if I can do this without getting it all over the place. There's the I actually didn't try stamping on the pearlescent with tuxedo black. It may have worked just fine as long as I let it dry for a little bit of time. And it maybe if I had used my heat tool, I could have, you know, kind of speeded it up a little bit. But I thought just because I didn't want to do that, I would use the embossing powder. And I don't use black embossing powder very often, so it was a great way to add that black into it. Now let's hold on to this with my tweezers. So again, take your heat tool and hold it in one spot until you start to see it go shiny and not be kind of that dull matte finish. There we go. Once it starts to go, it goes really quickly. Don't hold it over too long because it will start to actually kind of melt into the paper. All right, we're just going to let that cool for just a minute or two. And while we're at that, I've got some tuxedo black. This is a piece of Very Vanilla, so 4 inches by 5 1/4. And I'm just going to take and stamp my flowers down here in the corner. Oops, stuck. There we go. So that'll be for the inside of the card. Do that. Okay, so this looks like it's dry. So let's take the die. Get it going the right way. There we go. So we'll take the die and we will cut this out. I'm going to just use a piece of my Post-it note tape to hold that in place. And I will just take it and cut it over here. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do before I do anything is I'm going to cut. I should have probably cut that off because I see it wasn't quite dry, but that's okay. I'm going to cut this. I'm going to fussy cut this and I'm going to cut it apart because I want something here in the middle. And I could do it just like that. And if you've got a punch or a die that you want to use, you can absolutely do that. I'm just going to kind of cut around it. Then I'm going to cut across. And I'm just, so I'm basically have stamped it, embossed it, and now I'm cutting it apart. And I'm just going to take, I'm going to square this off. I've decided I don't want it round. So there we go. Sort of squared off a little bit more than it was. And we'll do the same with this one. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to take dimensionals and pop these up in the middle. So we'll start with that one. They're kind of there. When I put these on, because I'm not positive where, if I'm kind of in the middle, so I don't press down really hard, and that way I can hopefully lift it up. Now, the other thing I want to do is I'm going to put this here. So that's a good thing I didn't press down. So now I can kind of pull those off. And we'll just kind of move that just a little bit up. And we'll put that there. And then I'm going to use, this is pretty tiny. So I'm going to take one of my, this is the strips of adhesive foam strips. This one I think came out of a paper pumpkin. They actually are longer than that when you buy them. They're long, narrow strips, but this was one I had left over from I think a paper pumpkin kit or one of the kit collection. They always give you lots. And so sometimes when I've got a little piece that I want to use, it's just easier to use one of these adhesive strips. Okay, so we're going to now put this down here in the corner. And I'm going to use dimensionals on it. I have something I'm going to use on this in just a minute. So we're going to not do any coloring on this. We're just going to keep it in the black. And then this can go on the inside of the card. I'm kind of keeping it somewhat simple tonight. And I'll show you why. I'm not going to use embellishments. I'm not going to use ribbon. But I am going to use, I don't know, and this is the Pearlized Enamel Effects. And there it comes in red, black, and white. So, and the white is pearly. So I'm going to use the white and I'm going to do part of the flowers down here. So just give it a good shake. Now this, the reason I'm doing this last is this takes a little bit of time to dry. So I'm just going to take and kind of just add some and just kind of smooth it out on parts of the flowers. I'm not doing all of the flowers. I'm just kind of doing some parts. And there are these little, what look like berries. Could do them in red, but the red probably doesn't go. So I'm going to do, oops, that. And maybe one of these leaves. Just going to try and kind of smooth it out and not do the whole, like, so you can actually see the lines through the leaves. Maybe that's, probably should have stopped while I was ahead. Anyway, this is kind of a fun pearlescent. You can make, I saw somebody, I don't know, it was Martin Stone, I think, if you follow Martin Stone. He took, I'll show you what he did. He took his silicone mat, my mat's a mess, and let me use the red. It's kind of a, what he did was he made a whole bunch of little dots, pearl dots. And so he just took it and just kind of dotted on his silicone mat. Actually, I think he used a plastic, like a window sheet, but he just took and dotted like that in all of the different colors. And I don't know if you can see that. There you go. You can see my dots. And then he let that dry. And it's going to take a little bit of time to dry. And when he had it, when they were dry, he took them and just lifted them off with the piercing end of his Take Your Pick tool and put them in a little plastic container that he had from some embellishment that was left over. And then he had all these little dots that he could use They're kind of like little buttons. So I thought that was a really cool idea. So anyway, I didn't use it like that, obviously, on my project, but I thought I'd share with you what you can do with this. Now, this is going to take some time to dry. And so you can kind of see where I did it in the middle and some dots and then a little bit on the leaves. I think you could actually take and color them after it was dry. I didn't try and add any ink, for example, re-inker. Oh, Jay Soriano. Maybe it was Jay that did it. For some reason, I thought it was Martin Stone, but I may have them. It definitely was one of the two of them. But I thought, what a cool idea. So now I've got some there. I've got 6, but I might have to do some more of them. But really cool idea. If you were, for example, I have had a customer who was looking for black dots for a snowman. She was making a project and she needed a whole bunch. And so she ended up buying some of the classic matte dots. But you could make your own dots of any size in black for the buttons on the snowman, the coal buttons on a snowman. So kind of a cool idea. So I think I'm going to do some of that when I get home from Vienna and use up some of the pearl enamel effects because I haven't used them at all. So anyway, I thought that just adding some more pearlescent to this card rather than doing any embellishments might be kind of a fun idea. So we'll see how that goes when it dries. I'm not going to touch it because it does take some time to dry. So you can take your heat tool and just apply it. But yeah, I kind of thought it was a pretty card for a birthday card. Definitely a feminine birthday card. But I kind of liked how it turned out. All right, everybody. So as I said, I'm off to Vienna tomorrow. So I will not be live. Normally I'm live on Saturday and Sunday, and then I do my class, my free Zoom class on Monday night. So I will not be doing those for the next, let's see, couple of weeks. I will be back on the 16th of November. While I'm gone, there will be my Tuesday night sketch challenge has been pre-recorded. So assuming technology doesn't fail me, sketch challenge on Tuesday night will go post at 6:30 Pacific, and then the sketch will actually post on social media about a half hour after that. And then next Thursday night is a technique, and so that will go live at 6:30 Pacific. So I hope you'll join in. I will go in and answer any questions that you might have or comments afterwards. So hope you enjoy them. And I will be back on the 16th, assuming no delays in flights. And so I will be back live on the 17th with another mystery challenge. So I hope you enjoy it. Stay tuned for pictures. We'll be posting pictures of our trip. We're really excited. So we'll be posting pictures. So stay tuned for those. All right, everybody. Hope you have a great evening. Happy stamping. Bye.